Good day, folks. Welcome to another edition of Lumberjack Logic. We're live here at the RNC with Tom Tiffany from Wisconsin. Tom, thanks so much for joining us.
Good to join you guys.
I question for you, and we had the trifecta, right? 2016, we had it all. We had the House, we had the Senate, we had the presidency. Why is anything going to be different? Because I'll be frank, a lot of us were really frustrated. We thought it sucked.
So after the election in 2016, I mean, the Trump team really was the proverbial dog catching the car. What do you do with it now? And they figured everybody was going to work together and all the rest. Well, yes. You get to Congress, and even people in your own party sometimes, I mean, they have different agendas and they have different priorities. And so it didn't work as smoothly, I think, as they'd hoped. Plus, I mean, think about all the stuff Obama and the intelligence agency threw at President Trump. I mean, it just was a real problem getting traction. And it's amazing they got the things done that they did. But here's what's going to be different. If we get the trifecta, both houses and the presidency, you're going to have a Trump team that is ready day one. Because I talked to them out in Washington, D.C. They know the policies they want to put in place. They are going to be ready day one. And plus, you'll have the president with a bully pulpit that's going to be able to come to Congress is, this is my agenda, these are the things that we are going to do. And that's really powerful. And to have that leadership of the executive, I think, is going to make a lot of difference.
Yes, and you're representing Wisconsin's 7th, which, right, 7th?
Yeah, that's correct.
All right, good deal.
And you talk about lumberjack logic, we have it in the 7th Congressional, northern and western Wisconsin. In fact, I got sawdust in my veins. Grandparents ran sawmills, stuff like that. So
really?
We know all about lumberjack logic.
You know, I milled the wood to build my house even.
Good for you.
Yeah, see? But you're doing youth outreach. We were talking about
You know, I think one of the big things that we have an opportunity as Republicans as we go forward here, you look at the 18, 20, and 22 elections, young people were not voting with us. That demographic, what, 18 to 29, something like that, they're not voting with us. They are now free agents, and we're seeing it in polling data where not so much who they're going to vote for, but what their attitudes are. And they're actually pretty pessimistic about America at this point. And we need to bring some optimism to them. What has gone on here is a failure. They supported Joe Biden in 2020, but it has failed them because, look, they can barely afford rent, much less be able to buy a home. Joe Biden's foreign policy weakness is going to lead us to war. Weakness always leads to war. Who fights wars? The young people do. We don't, right?
No.
It's the young people that do that. You look at the Biden administration wants to let men into girls' locker rooms. They're just going, hold it. This isn't the direction I want to go either. This is a real opportunity for us to talk about solutions as Republicans. Those are the problems. Here's the solutions.
Yeah, I was actually speaking with one of the Young Turks, actually, the TYT crowd, and I'm interviewing Anna here in just a little bit, and I talked to her specifically about that issue. I said, you know, how do you feel about, you know, men invading women's spaces? And she said, well, I think we can all agree that's wrong. But she said it seems to be kind of baked into the cake now.
Yeah, it isn't baked in the cake, and people are pushing back. We're seeing it in school districts.
In the Democrat cake, I'm talking.
Well, yeah. It is, but they're going to have to back off from it if people push back hard enough. And we're seeing it at local school boards where parents are coming forward and saying, no, you're not going to do this to my kids. And the unfortunate part is going to destroy the public education system if the Biden administration forces these schools to be able to do it. But it is a message we can go back to the voters with and say, you don't have to accept this. You can elect a president that will not do these type of things.
Yeah, and that president is Donald J. Trump. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. You know, and the other thing, I thought it was a good, I think JD Vance is a good pick for a variety of reasons. People see, I mean, he's a sharp guy. He looks, he believes in the America First policies of President Trump. But it also, I think, says to young people, we're going to pass the torch on to the next generation. That those baby boomers who have controlled politics for decades here in America, that the torch passing is going to happen. I think it's a great message to young people.
Yeah, and it's an important one. I got a question for you. Since you brought up JD Vance, here's the scoop. When in 2015, I didn't want Trump to win the nomination. That's where I was at. I wanted Ted Cruz.
Yes.
And I don't know where you were at, but I really came around, and actually I ended up feeling that Trump was my best vote I ever cast, because I was so used to politicians not doing what they said they were going to do. Yet Trump said, here's my Supreme Court nominees, here's who I'm picking from, we're going to move the embassy in Israel. I mean, he did all these things that everybody else said they were going to do and never did. What was your experience with Donald Trump, and your kind of, did you have to come around, or were you just on the Trump train the whole time?
So I originally supported Governor Walker. I mean,
Okay.
I was in the legislature with him the 8 years that he was governor, and we got results. I was looking for somebody that would get results. I was skeptical of this New Yorker who had a liberal background. I didn't trust him.
Yeah.
He proved himself in
Amen.
his first term, and I voted for President Trump when he's been on the ballot. And but I fully support his agenda, because he has gotten things done, and I can tell you that if he's reelected, stuff is going to get done, especially if you give us majorities in the House and the Senate. And by the way, Wisconsin's Senate race is in play. Tammy Baldwin is in trouble.
Yes.
And if we get those majorities, people are going to see real reforms that are going to benefit the American people. Secure the border. Stop the ruinous spending out in Washington, D.C. that's driving inflation. Be energy independent once again. Produce it here in America, not somewhere else around the world. And let's have a strong America, peace through strength.
Peace through strength. Now we're talking Ronald Reagan talk.
There's no doubt about it. You know, some people say, with what's going on with Donald Trump changing how Republicans think and what the Republican brand is, to a certain extent, there's been some changes there. But there's a lot of things that continue. Peace through strength is one of them.
Yes. Well, thanks so much for coming on here and doing this quick street interview. And glad you're out there representing the great state of Wisconsin. I noticed that one notable missing person here this weekend is Paul Ryan.
Yeah. Which is unfortunate.
Yeah. I mean, he hasn't come around yet.
Yeah. I mean, it's what happens in politics. It has changed here in America, and but you go fight with the warriors that are going to be there, and we need to be forward-looking.
Yes.
What's behind is behind. The American people are counting on us as Republicans to move our country forward. That is our duty.
Amen.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks again.
When I started MyPillow, it was just a problem solution, one product company. Well, since then, with the help of my dedicated employees, we now have hundreds of products, some you might not even know about. To get the word out, we're having a $25 extravaganza. 2-pack multi-use MyPillows, $25. MyPillow sandals, $25. And for the first time ever, our 6-pack towel sets, you guessed it, just $25. Our brand new 4-pack dish towels, $25. And I've never done this before. Premium MyPillows with all new Giza fabric, any size, any loft level, even king size for only $25. And there's so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code for our $25 extravaganza. Order $75 and over. Your entire order ships absolutely free.